Here's a video about painting a gutter. This gutter just gotten grungy. Paint was peeling off. I've scraped off that end over there, but I'm not going to show you me scraping it. You don't need to see that, but I'm just going to let you know what I did here. The metal on this is in pretty good shape. It's got these kind of set screws in there. Most of them are good. A couple of them I had to pull out and then angle like 10 or 15 degrees and nail them back in to get into some fresh wood. Probably the wood under here is not in the greatest shape, but I can't worry about that right now. But the metal, this gutter, I guess it's galvanized steel. It's in pretty good shape. Probably there wasn't any primer on it before. I think it had some paint on it. 10 years ago I had the house painted. The guys probably just scraped it a little bit, wire brushed it, and painted right over it, I'd guess. I'm seeing a couple layers of paint under there that I don't recognize. So you can see that the two tools that I've been using, just a paint scraper and a wire brush. Obviously wear some gloves, it's always good. So you can kind of see what it looks like down here having scraped it. I'm going to get some cleaner, probably just some soap, warm water, and a bristle brush or a small broom, and clean it off and then hose it off a little bit and let it dry. And I'll show you the materials that I'm going to put on it and we'll see how it works. They're from Sherwin-Williams. At first I was going to wire brush this thing and really try and take this down, but a lot of this paint on here's pretty solid. I'm kind of surprised. Some of it flakes right off, so when you are taking this stuff off, if it's loose, take it loose. You can't be afraid. You got to take it down. But again, some of this paint is on here pretty hard. I mean, I was originally going to wire brush it all the way down to the metal. I'll have to think about if I'm going to do that or not. But here's some of the area that I haven't done. This is some of the worst area. Probably gets the most exposure up here. Just gives you a little different perspective on it. See what it looks like. Here's another section of gutter I'm doing. All this paint's coming right off on this one. You can get an idea of what the material is. So scraping that down. Again, on the other video when I said wire brushing, I meant wire brushing with a drill. I really should clarify hand wire brushing or power wire brush with a drill. I did not use a drill or any sort of power tool on the other one. Didn't really seem to need it. Either the paint came right off or felt it was solidly adhered to the metal where I could prime over it. So here's a section where I haven't done. Okay, so there's an old broom I'm using. I hosed down the gutter, just gave it a quick wash. I'm going to use the broom. I just spray a little bit of that on there and then rub the broom on it and then rinse it off again and let it dry. I don't know if that's necessary or not, but it won't take but a few seconds. I guess it'd be harder if you're re-guttering an entire house or something. Anyway, there's a primer I'm using, which is Sherwin-Williams all surface enamel oil-based primer. I'm using a little better brush than I had last time. We'll see how that works. So those are the materials, and just to follow up on the other note, I have not used any sort of power wire brush. Haven't found it necessary. Alrighty, that's kind of dark out, so you can't really see too much, but I can get an idea what the coverage looks like. Pretty impressed. Looks good. A couple things I learned is to work in like little 2 foot sections. The way this material works, it's kind of thin, but it gets sticky real quick. So work in small sections. The other thing is I used a cheap brush that I had just sitting around, and I think it's like a nylon brush, and they said use a natural brush. So here's the. I just figured I'd grab a cheap brush to use, so don't use that. Whatever the instructions are, I think a natural brush. Other than that, though, pretty impressed, and we'll be back tomorrow. That's the paint being used. And Sherwin-Williams brush, nylon polyester. No tint in it, just straight out white. There's a little better look at the gutters after being primed. Alrighty, I think this is the final segment on the gutter painting. Got one coat on there. I may put a second on. I don't know. It looks pretty good. It's good enough. One thing is I got flat paint. I let the guy at the store talk me into flat. I really want a gloss, because actually the window trim is like plastic glossy, and I don't know, I think gloss holds up better. Anyway, I should have got a semi-gloss or gloss, but other than that, looks good. So hopefully this helps you if you're painting a gutter.